Today, there are more signature athletes across the basketball landscape than any point in history. The results are laced with mixed feelings. While there are players, brands, and designs that have cut through the noise, there are others who have fallen flat when the rubber meets the road, or I guess we should say hardwood. But this isn't just about cops or drops. This is about a changing of the guard in an industry that has grown increasingly more competitive. Let's be real. When it comes down to sneakers, the consumer's attention is more divided than ever. If we take a look at the market of performance footwear, Nike is still the top dog, but other brands are continuing to see growth. That's because companies like Adidas, Puma, and Converse can offer up-and-coming stars something that the industry leaders can't, an opportunity to be the face of a brand. These days, star players are looking for more than just a signature shoe. They want a legacy. Nike has long been the standard for creating globally successful signature athletes. It all started with Michael Jordan, but the dominant run they had in the 2010s further solidified that sentiment. It might sound absurd, but what were once Nike's biggest blessings are slowly aging into their biggest curses. Well, actually, the problem is LeBron James and Kevin Durant aren't aging much at all. And with both of them having lifetime contracts, it's hard to believe they won't continue to be Nike's highest priorities even after they retire. So while signing with the swoosh was once a no-brainer, it's now become less appealing with the looming cloud of immortal greatness overshadowing the stars of today and tomorrow, making way for other brands to expand their footprint.
Nike can't have everybody, so I think it's actually better in the free market when we have other brands who are rising up. If Nike's not willing to offer a signature shoe to someone, then Adidas is. And if Adidas isn't willing to offer you a signature shoe, then Puma Hoops is. You just kind of go in this circle. So we're going to continue to have this proliferation of signature shoes.
With the NBA and basketball, we're sort of at a period of transition right now, and that's reflected in sneakers. While Nike basketball has been the standard for decades, players want to be different. They want to go against the grain.
When you see these younger players, they don't just want to be a number on Nike's roster. They can go to other brands and have more of an immediate say. These players are betting on themselves now. They're not waiting for Nike to see them, and they are aggressively going after that market share.
This isn't exactly a new phenomenon. Steph Curry saw the writing on the wall early when he was being courted for his signature deal back in 2013. After wearing their shoes for the first 4 years of his career, Nike tried and failed to sign the future greatest shooter of all time because they got outpitched by Under Armour.
He was offered more money, he was offered a signature shoe, and to be the face of the brand.
This was a deal that ended up paying off for both parties. Under Armour started to make noise in a sport where their brand was essentially non-existent. As for Steph, signing with the underdog turned out to be the best decision for his business portfolio. Curry brand was launched as a standalone subsidiary of Under Armour in 2020, ripping a page straight out of the Nike and Jordan brand playbook. Now, not only is Curry the face of Under Armour, but he's also president of his own brand, capable of signing other signature players to endorse his own namesake.
At Nike, he would have never in a million years gotten that. He was sitting under, who is still playing today, LeBron James and Kevin Durant. He still would be like little brother to them.
But Curry wasn't the first superstar to take a chance with a smaller brand. In 2012, Dwayne Wade signed with Li-Ning to start his own Way of Wade brand. The opportunity for more creative control was a persuasive enough reason for him to jump from Jordan brand and start something new overseas.
I had more to offer. I had more to give. I wanted to become a part of something. I know it was going to take a lot of work. I know it was going to take a lot of sacrifice, but I was willing to do it because I want to leave a legacy. This is bigger than me being an endorser. This is really a partnership. I wanted to show up-and-coming guys, a lot of young guys as well, that you are a business.
With proof it can be done, it inspired others to do the same, snowballing into a massive sprawl of athletes divided up among a variety of brands. Kyrie broke ties with Nike to sign with Anta. Kawhi Leonard opted not to renew with Jordan brand and landed with New Balance. LaMelo Ball went his own way to take a stab at revitalizing Puma Hoops. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Some have even taken it a step further by starting up their own independent brands. The digital age has made it easier than ever to bring a product to market. We saw it with Big Baller Brand back in 2017, a true family business with Father of the Year LeVar Ball at the helm. Lonzo Ball's ZO2 line was the first to be released under the Triple Bs. The shoes were overpriced, underdeveloped, and a presumptive contributor to Zoe's early knee injuries, all in one. But it was one of the first do-it-yourself attempts at starting a sneaker brand in the modern era, and it wouldn't be the last. We're witnessing the same effort with Jaylen Brown and his 741 performance brand right now. After struggling to find a stable home with a brand in the early years of his career, he decided to build his own. Brown debuted his first signature model, the 741 Rover, at the start of the 2024-25 NBA season. The market is clearly saturated, but a few players and brands have found ways to demand attention. When you think about it, with similar qualifying criteria, the king of kicks and the face of the league conversations in the NBA are one and the same.
You have to have a really good athlete. You have to have an athlete who has some charisma. You have to have an athlete who wins. Not enough people understand all of the factors that have to fall right for a signature shoe to actually be successful. There is a gauntlet now that athletes have to walk to make a signature shoe, yes, a successful campaign, but to build a whole brand on a player is also challenging, especially if you're gonna do it in conjunction with a larger publicly traded company.
So despite the countless active signature athletes across the league, based on these requirements, only a few players are positioned to have motion that mirrors the level of legends. Anthony Edwards is the most established example. When he signed with Adidas in 2020, he was considered an up-and-coming star, but since then, he's quickly risen to the top of the ranks. And he's brought Adidas along with him. It's been a long time since Adidas has produced a leading signature model in basketball, despite efforts from veteran stars like James Harden and Damian Lillard. The combination of Edwards' explosive playstyle coupled with marketing that is fueled by his unapologetic personality are to thank for this success.
I would argue that Anthony Edwards and Adidas has one of the best signature shoe campaigns that we have seen in generations. It is really fun. It is very different. In a lot of ways, it's taking the playbook of Michael Jordan and Mars Blackman from the 80s.
It's been a very long time since a basketball sneaker and an athlete like that has kind of made a big impact. Obviously, you can't compare that to the impact of Jordan, but he's definitely having his own moment, and I think it's something that other brands will kind of take note of.
Adidas is just capitalizing, quite frankly, on the fact that Ant has a very infectious personality that is almost one of a kind.
Of course, none of this matters if the shoe isn't good. Luckily for Ant-Man and Adidas, the AE1 has emerged as a top choice for hoopers at all levels. It sports a minimalistic yet future-forward design wrapped in honeycomb-style detailing that tells a different story with every colorway. The AE1 is one of those rare instances in signature sneaker debuts where a brand and player strike gold on the first try. This silhouette will forever be attached to the most unforgettable moments of Ant's young career.
Oh, Edwards! Whoa! From the rafters! Are you kidding me right now? Skywalker Anthony Edwards!
That was my best dunk of my career, I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of unforgettable moments, the 2025 NBA Finals brought two very strategic and timely rollout campaigns for debut signatures. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's Shai 1 model with Converse and Tyrese Halliburton's Hali 1 model with Puma are prime examples of two less dominant brands capitalizing on opportunities for exposure. For both Puma and Converse, which was bought by Nike in 2003, it's the first time in the modern era that they've had high-profile contending franchise players signed to their brands, and they both took full advantage of the opportunity. Each player's spectacular run to the finals provided plenty of marketable moments to boost hype for their debut sneakers well ahead of their release dates. After putting the basketball world on notice with clutch shot after clutch shot in the playoffs, it's not surprising that Puma greenlit the debut of the Hali 1 for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Designed by the renowned Salehi Bembury, the shoe emulates familiar design motifs seen in outdoor recreation wear fused with modern-day streetwear trends. Immediately after the shoe's unveiling to the world, we witnessed yet another game winner from Halliburton to put the Spurs up 1-0 in the series.
Final seconds, no fouls to give. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining, Tyrese Halliburton does it again!
It was a marketing moment so perfect that you couldn't have written it better. And Tyrese made sure to let us know where the credit was due.
What is the secret sauce? Where is this coming from this group?
It's a great question. The secret sauce today was these, but...
Gold always shines brightest, though, as SGA and Converse would eventually have the last laugh. A season full of tunnel fits, MVP performances, and ultimately a championship called for the Shea 1 to warrant a level of demand Converse hasn't seen since their heyday. After unveiling his first colorway, the Shea Butters at All-Star Weekend, SGA has rarely stepped into the public eye without rocking his debut signature shoe. And who could blame him? He co-designed the shoe himself. Similar to his game, the shoe's design is smooth, embracing a monochromatic look with puffed wings that are joined by a zipper to maximize containment and styling versatility. As more colorways were teased throughout the remainder of the season, the league MVP and his Thunder stormed their way to the franchise's first ever championship. After earning all that solid gold hardware, it was only right that Converse saw to it that he'd have the shoes to match. Just another example of a resurgent brand capitalizing on a historic moment. But it's not just the next generation of NBA players that are shaking things up. WNBA players are bringing some heat too. Although Nike's recent signature launches for NBA stars haven't quite resonated the way they used to, that is absolutely not the case in the dub. WNBA stars continue to command the spotlight as the league experiences exponential growth and popularity. As a result, we're witnessing the emergence of Nike's next big three in basketball: Sabrina Ionescu, A'ja Wilson, and Caitlin Clark.
You can look at them as that big three because they have this star power. And that's not to say we haven't had our stars, because we certainly have when you think of the women that have transcended the game. But when you look at how Nike is positioning Sabrina and A'ja and Caitlin, it's bigger than just women. They understand that they have everyone tuned into the game. It's about investing in these women, not betting on these women. We saw them invest into Kobe and LeBron and KD. We're now seeing them invest into Sabrina, into A'ja, and into Caitlin.
Just like the early days of LeBron, Kobe, and KD, Sabrina, A'ja, and Caitlin are at different stages in their careers, but each dominates in their own way. While it's only a matter of time before Clark debuts her first signature model, Ionescu and Wilson's lines are off to great starts. The first three Sabrina models have been hits across the WNBA and NBA, with their design, feel, and performance being compared to the likes of Kobe's. Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson's A1s have arrived on scene in explosive fashion, and it's been accompanied by a full-court press of stellar marketing. It's been refreshing to see the rollout be embraced with a level of support that is long overdue, especially since this isn't the first time we've seen women break down barriers in performance footwear. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman ever to have her own signature basketball shoe with her Nike Air Swoopes line. She was a real trailblazer that foreshadowed the opportunities we're seeing for women in the signature shoe game today.
When I think back at it, right, being the first, it excites me when I think about how far the game has come. To see A'ja getting her shoe, Sabrina having a shoe, Caitlin's shoe in the works. I think it says a lot about where we are as women, where we are as athletes, and how times have changed. These women absolutely have put in the time, the sacrifice, the dedication to be in this moment right now, and absolutely very deserving of it.
When it comes to the WNBA, Nike will once again be there to set the standard for signature athletes in a league with an ever-expanding consumer base. But similar to how the story has gone in the NBA as of late, other brands have entered the conversation too. Puma and Breanna Stewart have turned up the heat with her fourth signature model, the Stewie 4, proving again that Puma Hoops is fully committed to being a top contender in the basketball market. Add into the mix young stars like Cameron Brink at New Balance and Angel Reese at Reebok, and we could be in the early stages of a widespread takeover of women in sneakers across a variety of brands.
It's this whole new cohort, and this is the time now for brands to be kind of hopping on these athletes and signing the right people, and I think it could be really interesting.
At the end of the day, despite the feeling that we're far removed from the glory days of performance sneakers, there are early signs of hope for a return to what we miss most: great storytelling and even better design. The names may have changed, and they still have a lot to prove, but as we enter yet another stage in signature sneaker evolution, there's a rich history to build on. That history might not quite repeat itself, but it'll be fun to see how much it rhymes.